Aloha and welcome to eBay Reseller News Now. You will get it now, whether you like it or not, apparently. Aloha, everybody. We are back after a tremendous holiday worth of eating, and actually it's the same old thing every day, pretty much. At this age, would you not say, my dear, that this is... oh, I'm Primo Chemo, and that's Spam Banshee, by the way. She doesn't talk during this show. She does all the work so that I can talk, because we can't afford to be not producing. That's how it works. Aloha, everybody. Aloha, Jack and Daniel and Patricia, Callie, Debs, Gina. Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome. Are we ready to get back in the... I mean, again, never left the saddle. It's like Sunday means nothing. Monday means Christmas. Still shipping stuff. I can say that sales were great. Are still great. So I've got a couple of things to talk about today. Important stuff for the new year, 2024. And anybody. First of all, we were monetized, and which means that we got over the threshold of 1,000 subscribers. And we did immediately turn on all ads across every conceivable way to squeeze some money out of YouTube. And we noticed that maybe subscribers did not initially like that. So we turned off all. But we do have on, we left on just the ones that you can... If you just want to throw us money for any reason, you can still do that. But there's no ads. For now, we'll have no ads on these. So if you do see ads, let me know, because I have no idea. As soon as they monetize you on YouTube, they give you access to all these tools and stuff.
I got an ad when
You did?
Yeah, for the live.
For this one?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's fine.
Well, yeah, it's fine, but I want to know how to use the tools, and I actually don't want to put ads on things yet until I'm so famous that you can't help but watch me. But if I'm still trying to get people to come aboard, I don't want to like drive them away with too many ads. So, yeah, let me know if you see ads. Oh, you saw some. You say use some ads. Okay, you mean like don't not use ads. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind using ad. I don't mind it. I want to do that. I just don't want to annoy people. I mean, most people, I pay for years, I've paid for YouTube premium, thank you. Which I don't have any ads, but it's like 12, then 17. Now it's like $19 a month. I happen to consume a lot of YouTube, so I don't want to get caught with the ads, but I can't see if ads are coming up on my stuff, because I have that. But welcome, everybody. 2024 is going to be a great year. You know why? Because we don't have a choice. I mean, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything super great to look forward to this year. There's going to be just a lot of tumult. But we'll try to stay out of that and keep our tumult to the eBay reality. Hey, Pokes, you got something to say about that, huh? You're like, no. 2024 election years are bad. That's what dogs say. Say distract from petting me and giving me more treats, etc. So one thing that I wanted to talk about very specifically is how, first of all, I want to thank you guys for making our channel something worth checking into and doing stuff. Gina says once she starts her own channel, there will be ads. Oh yes. I'll be doing YouTube to make some extra money, so don't worry about reselling. I have nothing new to say. What is there anything new to say? That's kind of like part of it. I mean, we've been dealing with the changes on the eBay, and I think that's what we've been dealing with. And one of the big, there's also been some like crazy animosity in the sort of our reselling community, and Matt Marg wants us to do another Beastie Boys video. Did you actually see that? That's a deep cut from our YouTube. But our biggest performing ad was we did two. We used to when this platform called Periscope first came up. We would do these lives on Periscope like in 2015 or maybe before, but somewhere around there. And we did a lot of just like we would play a song. Lip stinks is what we called them, lip stinks. And that's one of those. The Beastie Boys lip stink. And the other one was Spam's favorite song. What is it? Steal My Sunshine? Yeah. So that was our biggest performing video up until some of the more recent ones. So anyway, they're from Periscope. So they're pretty darn old. They have kind of like a nice nice halo effect on everything because it's such old movie technology. It was old iPhones. So the actual quality looks bad. Aloha, guys. 6x6 is in the house, and so is Motorcycle Dork. Aloha to you. I haven't seen many videos coming from you, Motorcycle Dork. I assume you're busy doing other things, maybe getting ready for this big year of 2024. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the difference in types of resellers. And I'm just a simple thing that I've noticed through our few months of doing YouTube videos about eBay and watching other people that I like to watch. And that is the type of sellers that we are. So I don't know I do know some of you, what types of things you sell, but there's definitely, it has come to sort of a head, a collectible seller on eBay versus what maybe I would call a pro seller on eBay, a professional seller. Not saying that collectible sellers aren't pros. I'm just trying to look for a terminology to use. So a pro seller on eBay is selling items to make their income. And it doesn't really matter to them what they're selling, provided that it makes an income. And that probably is going to include necessary items versus including maybe some wants versus needs. And also, if you are focused on collectibles, you're definitely going to have a much broader selection within those niches. So some people are selling just what makes money, has high sell-through rates and things. Collectibles will have lower sell-through rates, but also necessary items for the marketplace, and they will sell because of that. So I thought it was important just to sort of point out that there's, I've come to a point, I'm in Vermont, so if I were to paraphrase Robert Frost, of a road diverges in the wood, I took the road less traveled, and that made all the difference. Something close to that. And by the way, his house, which some kids broke into a couple of years ago and trashed, is just like about 50 miles down the road here. It's where he wrote all his poetry. It's literally this little dump of a cabin in the middle of a field, and he wrote stuff there. And then the kids break in and mess it all up. Aloha, Biff Bava! Happy New Year! It's exciting. Gina says she only needs 950 subs and 4,000 watch hours. That's it. It is a goal. It's a great goal, and you can do that. I happen to know for a fact that you can do that. I did it in I would say because I had a head start of 500 subscribers from years and years of tiki stuff. We made the other 500 that got us over 1,000 within 3 months. So if you're doing some of my kind of math, that would be so it took 3 months to get 500. So to get 1,000, you would need 25 months. You need another 3 months. I mean, that's according to my math. So 6 months you could get it because I did it in that time. That's how I know it can be done. But then there's people that are really good that could probably do it in just a couple days. Collectible sellers versus professional eBay sellers. Now, we do need to make an actual living income from this. So I would say we are professional collectible sellers. Since I'm making up the words and terms right now, I guess I can just say anything. But there are some things that go along with the collectible seller that people. So in this high sell-through rate environment where all the YouTube prognosticators and what's another good P word I could use? They're not provocateurs. They're prognosticators. That's a guesser. But then we need somebody who is professing knowledge, professors of eBay. And I sort of noticed like a big thing. Like, so there, you've got clothing sellers, then you have everything sellers, and then you have collectible sellers. So there's really kind of like three categories that I can see have major differences. Clothing sellers, that just comes with a whole knowledge base and a whole dealing with people base that is different than what we do. But the everything seller and the collectible seller, I think, are similar, except the everything seller will select his inventory based on sell-through rate. And a collectible seller will sell everything based on collectability. And what I found, let's talk about a little bit about my numbers. I'm going to take you into my numbers here for a minute if I can figure that out. Aloha! Soda City Flips is in the house. Happy New Year! We popped in on your Soda City social last night, and then we flopped over to Rachel Strickland, and that was really cool. Enjoyed listening last night. And we're just talking about the wait, where was I? I said hello, and now my brain completely erased. Perhaps a sip of coffee will help. Could you hear the deliciousness? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we enjoyed that. So I think the big difference is between the clothing sellers I am lumping together because there's a lot of information on YouTube about how to do that. It's almost like it's not really a science or an art. It's like, no, it is a science. It's not an art, clothing selling, because there's so many people that tell you exactly how to do it. And I think they're really accurate and right. And I know through some of my friends here on YouTube, Kevin is probably at work because he has a full-time job, but he has a really good understanding of how clothing works. And again, it's all about brands and stuff. And I know everything but that, sort of. So essentially, I come from the collecting background, so we just have tons and tons of collections of collectibles. So, in my point is, I guess, rambling a little bit, is that we need to. You don't. Let's look at my numbers. You don't have to promote collectibles the same way. Hold on, now I gotta go look at this. Okay, so here is December's numerals. Let me just see if anybody had anything to say in the chat that I need to address. 6x6 said all his videos will be non-monetizable and be marked explicit. Biff and niche sellers, yes, niche sellers, but I'm just saying collectibles because what I want to do is I want to put Jack, you, and myself into one category where we're selling collectibles, and the process to sell those and whether or not we promoted listings and how we sell them and where we sell them, that has changed. So I wanted to put us in sort of that collectible category versus the everyday seller who does different things to sell their stuff. And also, collectible sellers may not source the same way. You may not be sourcing every day. Well, everything sellers do source every day based on what is selling. So they are two, I think, distinctly separate halves of the same coin. So anyway, I want to talk about that. Jack is saying that he sells the CDs and niching in 78s and Edison Diamond discs. I love that. And selling rare books and specializing in Mormon books. And Biff says, I've said it for a while that even though we all sell on eBay, that there are similarities. That's where the similarities often end. I'm a collectible seller. That's who I relate to. I'm here for that. And yeah, Biff, that's it. And I'm sort of basing this on just some animosity that I've seen in the reseller groups lately, and I'm not going to focus on that at all. I'm not going to even talk about it beyond what I just said. But I was trying to understand specifically sort of where that could develop from. And so in doing that, I have to find out the differences. And so that's where I kind of came up with this, that we're not always talking apples and oranges here, and why a collectible seller will have different understandings, different needs, different ways of doing things that both fit a personality and also a lifestyle, a way you want to live. And I choose the collectible side because I don't want to sell things I don't like. That doesn't mean that I'm selling weird kind of junk. I mean, I sell very expensive items, but it does come with a different struggle. And I want to make sure that's not only clear, but that everyone kind of understands that. And so we're not being misunderstood in our community. Patricia says, me too, Biff. Yes, she likes collectibles. Collectibles are fun. And those of us who like collectibles like them because, you know, we could sell ice cream. Maybe some of us have. I have sold ice cream. I've sold basically everything. But I do feel like, you know, at my age, I want to sell smaller things. And I want to sell things that are, that when I touch them every morning, I go through 10 items to package and ship them. And I'm like, did I say this last week? I'm like, oh, I sold this? Oh, no. It's kind of like, I know it's a good thing because I'm like, boo, I sold it. Now I don't have it anymore. So almost everything I sell, I have that feeling about. Jack says, stoic Kevin is amazing to watch. Yes. And it is. And I like to watch him, despite the fact that he sells something I know nothing about, probably in spite. No, in spite of that, despite. There's no spite involved, but I like to watch him, and I like that he knows his niche, which isn't a niche. I mean, clothing selling is huge, right? Isn't that like almost the biggest? You know, that's one of the biggest things. It most certainly dominates YouTube as far as the real banger resellers sell clothing. And I think that's because it's plentiful. There's absolutely no shortage of it. You can in any town you can get it, and so anyway, I think everybody knows why. But then to actually be good at it takes tons of effort. And I'm always afraid that, you know, somebody's going to have some like fentanyl in their pocket, and you go to the store and you go through the bins and you're flipping out, and then all of a sudden there's the puff of white smoke, and now you're dead. So that's why I don't sell clothes. Read some more questions. Big screen. But wait, doesn't everybody want to see my numbers?
Right. You're reading comments and then you're going back.
Yeah, okay. No, I'll go. Let's just do let's look at the screen since it's up right here. Everybody, I just wanted to point out on the 9th, what's this date? Look at how close we are. On December 29th, did you all notice really bad sales at all? Because for some reason, my impressions just like took a dump. So I don't know if everybody else noticed that. Was that just for me? I do a nuclear reset my entire store every single day. So that's why I have 100% organic impressions. That's why I have very close to the Biff Boffo 2070-10 right here. But you can actually see that I'm up 23% in search impressions. And then on my page views, those fell off in December 8th. They like halved the external site views halved, but most of us agree that those are. I know I don't think they're bad views. So this is my new theory on the non-search impressions. They're not junk views at all. They're actually great views, but they're good views. They're not great views, but they're good. But they're part of the non-search impression. So here, are you seeing my, can you see my mouse here? Yeah, you can. Okay. So the external site views particularly are this dark blue one right here, but the non-search impressions, I believe the external sites are part of that non-search impression. And then the other part of the non-search impression is the little modules that show below your items, other people's similar items, things like that. And actually, you do want to be in there. So if you want to, you should possibly, if you want to be in those are good non-search impressions, you have to pay 2% at least and advertise. Otherwise, you won't be there at all. So that's the one positive thing about promoted listings in the collectible category that I find good. Oh, I'm only talking about collectibles right now and how I like to do things. And then so what you also notice is that the external site views, those are what everybody's paying for now, and see, they are systematically lowering those as the month goes on in order to charge for them, I'm guessing. So that's what happened. And now, so this is over the month. This is, pretty decent. We had good sales were up. Impressions were down a little bit, but not really. You can see my impressions technically up by 1.3%, but down 11.4, down 64. So impressions generally are down. Oh, look, it says 22% right there. Down 22% doesn't seem to make a difference. Page views. They halved my external site just for just because that they're trying to charge for them. And seems sales increased over the month of December, Q4, December. No slowdown in between Christmas and New Year's. Almost felt like they just kind of turned my store back on a little bit, so I didn't notice any slowdown or degradation. Yes. Should I go back to and read some things?
Well, yeah, but on the 29th, remember, you
Yes.
didn't do the reset until later in the morning. And you thought that had an effect.
I did, but I wasn't going to say that because I don't think it had an effect, but it could have. As I thought about it more, yes. So I didn't do it till 10 o'clock in the morning versus my 6 o'clock in the morning, which is a 4-hour difference. Could have made a difference, but I'm pretty sure I felt like people were having a problem on the 29th. So hold on, let me go back and read some notes over here. I mean, not notes, but some peeps. Okay. Fellow resellers, this will be Motorcycle Dork says sold his first item on my website through Shopify. Yes. Nice. Item had been on eBay for a couple of months and it didn't sell. 450 item that eBay didn't collect 35%. My gosh, that is how much you spend once you're done with promoting and everything. Good for you, Motorcycle Dork. I think that you are doing the right thing. And if you guys do have any need to have more exposure, Shopify is probably your first stop. I don't know. This is how I feel about Mercari and Poshmark when you're selling collectibles. I have heard these things. Well, you're slowly going to see these things pick up a little bit of momentum. District 2, I imagine, as eBay sheds buyers and sellers. They have to go somewhere. People are going to still buy stuff. eBay is definitely shedding some. It's not a major jumping off the boat, but they are shedding some. So you should see some increase in these other platforms as good places sell collectibles, as opposed to clothing. Poshmark, Mercari, you can sell everything. But again, eDistrict has always, I've really been excited about District because it's the perfect place for collectible niches. But I'm just not seeing the people there yet. People assume that Biv Boffa. Wait, Marilyn Wilson. Aloha, Marilyn. Fellow resellers, this will be our year. Every year, totally agree. Every year should be our best year. I mean, we're starting out. We're gonna take it. We're gonna roll with the punches. Some people are going to adjust their inventory to meet the new needs of eBay. Some people like myself are going to continue to sell the way we've always sold. But in my case, 0% promotion. So anything you see that I've sold in the past, now let's go back. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll read some more. People assume that Biff is against promoted, but he tried it and never got results. The fact is, right now, promoted listings, if you pay for them, you go in the non-search impressions. Okay? So that's where all of your purchased impressions are from. Offsite if you're using offsite, but if you're using onsite, dynamic, or promote PL, you're basically purchasing non-search impressions for the most part, because in Biff Baffo's metric 20-70-10, if you're doing organic, that's what you get, 20-70-10. But if you're buying search slot, if you're buying promoted listings, you're going to see that non-search slot impressions thing go up, and probably your top 10 search or top 20 search slots go down. That's what I've noticed. And also your non-top 20 search slots impressions go down, while your non-search slot impressions go up, because that's where they're charging you. That's where they're putting them all in the, and that's why people have called them junk impressions, which no impressions are junk if they lead to sales, but they are not search slot impressions, which that is what Biff Boffo and others are calling quality impressions versus the not quality impressions. And search is how eBay is supposed to work. So search slot should be held in higher regard. Now, with that said, I will continue reading. Jack is relishing in Motorcycle Dork's sale, which is nice. And we all are going to have to work a little harder this year, and probably and definitely our comfort zone, all that BS. Excuse me. I don't know why I just got all of a sudden got very I got COVID all of a sudden. Have we been did I raise I raised a lot of I dusted. That's what happened. I dusted this place. And then I have tape up there on the window because the sun was shining in there so brightly. It just made like a big solar flare over here. And we don't point this out enough, but see that piece of trim right behind me right there? Right there? That's the ADHD trim. So that like I did everything in the room, but I never painted that one piece of trim. So I leave it there as a monument to my inability to complete a task to 100%. But usually I make it to 80 or 90. Looks pretty good. Clinking, clanking, clattering collection of colliginous junk. What's colliginous? Calligraphy? Caligula junk. Amazing. Go McDork. Everybody is enjoying that. I mean, that's a good news. That's what I say. Not sure if it's vintage. Says hello, aloha. Welcome to the big shoe. Really big. So Josh Galt's not back, everybody. 1 o'clock, right? He didn't show up, did he? Am I preempting him? I don't think so. I'm happy. I love to watch Josh Galt, and I enjoy him, and I like to listen while I'm working too. So if he comes back to 1, I don't mind. I don't mind giving up the slot, but 1 o'clock is a prime slot right here. 2:30 is fine too, but I find like I could be done at 2:30, or I could start at 2:30. That's how I'm looking at it. I'd rather be done. Let's see. Motorcycle Door, congrats. Tell us more. What method did they pay? Did they pay with cash, gold coins, bullion, Bitcoin? Biff Boffo noticed on the 29th that his dip, he dipped. Oh my, I'm sorry. I'm going. Happy New Year from the Nesbitt Experience. Happy New Year to you. 2024 is huge. It's going to be a huge year. Boy, this year's going to suck. I'm just saying, not eBay-wise, just in general, the noise, the vibration of this year is like, it's already here, I think. 6x6, can I talk to you like a child? Why the 2070-10 ideal? So, 6x6, you are good. Sit over here. Let me get you a cookie and milk. Is that what you meant by child? That's how I take care of children. I feed them food. 2070-10. So if I didn't already explain it, which I might have on accident, is organic. Thank you. You shut off the fan. Should I shut off the drive? So that was actually my heater, my feet heater, my heat feeder. And then if I go here, I can turn off the hard drive, which also makes a lot of noise. Could you hear that? Isn't that nice? It's like silent now. So where was I? I got distracted by myself. 2070-10. If you are doing organic impressions, it seems like eBay's algorithm separates your impressions, which leads to page views, which hopefully leads to sales. It separates your impressions by top 20 search slot. Let me show you right here. Right, boom. So top 20 search slot. So up here at the top of your, right above here. Let me see if I've got something else. No, it always cuts off. Okay, here's a report for October 4th through December 31st. You will see that. So this is the entire fourth quarter. Impression by placement is right here. 16, 51, 31, 9. If this is the top 20 search slot, the rest of search slot, and non-search impressions. So you will have, if you are promoting, if you are not promoting, this is what it looks like. It approaches 20, 70, 10. 23, I happen to be up in the top 20 search slot impressions. A little bit down in the rest of search slot impressions. And then only around 11% in the non-search impressions. That is what you get if you're organic. So we're using that as sort of a baseline of the eBay algorithm. Biff Boffo was the first to bring it to my attention. I'm not I've never read it or anywhere else. That doesn't mean other people haven't noticed it or used that as their as a great metric. But I found that it is really a good metric because, and depending on what you want, this is the easier metric to work with. So you know what top 20 search slot impression is, and you know that's good. You know you want to be in search, the rest of search slot impressions. And then the non-search impressions aren't in the search. So if you go up to search and you search for something, it's those non-search impressions are not going to come up. If you're promoting, those are going to be extremely high. And when we go back to when I was promoting, you can see it was 31%. That's all you're going to see here because this is just the last quarter. But if I was promoting for the entire quarter, that would be much higher, as high as like 70%. So that's why they're called junk, because they're not searchable. You're not going to pop up in the search. So, but you are going to pop up non-search impressions in those modules that show up on the bottom of other people's searches. Like other people enjoyed this, or other people, or here's a similar item. That's where yours, and I don't think that's bad to show up there. It's just not a search slot impression. And so since they invented a new place for search for impressions to go, and then they found out a way to charge you for them, but they're not the premier search places, which is the top 20 and the rest of search slot impressions. Is that a good explanation?
I think so.
Okay.
About moving though, you have people asking.
Okay, I'm going back.
You have
The shark guy is here. Hold on, let me get to the shark guy. I have to go in order.
But he's lower down.
Can I finish? You're not even part of this podcast.
Sorry.
You are distracting yourself from listing things. How are we ever going to make a living in 2024? Go big or go home. Okay. Big. Okay, so we did the Biff. We did not sure it's vintage. Shopify Moon Lambo in 2024. Links to sell on Instagram, YouTube. Sound juicy. Yes, they do. And I think we're going to be utilizing, I think it's really, the technology is blossoming. So we're going to be selling all over the place. And it's not going to be, limited, that's coming. It's not going to be limited to platforms. So if you want to sell stuff on eBay, but you're on YouTube, I could put a thing up there. Maybe. I think that's coming, where you can just click and purchase it on YouTube. Like say, I believe that's how Whatnot, it's sort of how Whatnot works, but Whatnot's primary purpose is an auction. Now YouTube isn't, but let's say I said, look at this lovely coffee mug. It's a Fiesta ware, $20. And I could put a little thing there and someone could buy it. That'd be crazy, but that's the future. So I hope hope you get your Moon Lambo in 2024. Land Shark Picker. Aloha, welcome to the channel. I'm not sure if I've seen you here before, but thank you very much for coming over here. And Patricia says she can't hear over the heat gun. Are you meaning my foot heater? No, I think she's using it. Okay, so 6x6, I explained it. I hope that was good. And let's see. Biff Boffo said, I found the PL cuts into my promoted listing cuts into your top 20 impressions, while non-search impressions balloon. Yes. So Biff knows what he's talking about because he sort of, he brought this to my attention. And that's the bottom line. So when you promote, you lose top 20 search spot impressions, and you lose rest of search slot impressions, and your non-search slot impressions balloon. That's it. That's the bottom line. Now, if you want your PL, if you want non-search slot impressions, if you think those are valuable to you, that is what PL is doing for you now. Non-search spot impressions. But they can change that at any time, so we have to keep our eyes on this, and that's what I've been doing. So just be aware of that. But still to this date, promoted listings lowers your top 20 search spot impressions and your rest of search spot impressions and increases your non-search impressions. Period. Across the board. This is fact. This cannot be argued. Can it be argued, Biff? Will you help me argue it if we need to? I'm positive that's the way it's working now and has been for months. So that is true. Marilyn Wilson says, I wish I was smart enough to sell vintage glass and linens. There's a lot of big money there, but the learning curve is huge. Yeah, you're in the low hanging fruit stage for sure. I mean, but of course, you learn as you go. I mean, I consider myself, I've got a good eye. There's no doubt about that. But that's literally from garage selling since I was single digit numbers. So, and then I learned a bunch of stuff, which is, not valuable anymore, like glass insulators from telephone poles. I like to point these things out. And, Hummels. I mean, this is before the Beanie Baby collectible things where you could buy collectibles that didn't do well. The olden day stuff, like the really olden day antiques, I mean, up until the 80s, I think glass insulators were big. And so were Hummels. And then it was the 90s that started killing that. It most certainly was the invent of eBay that killed the old collectibles, so everyone could see what everybody had. And then you realize there's way too many Hummels out there, so everybody had enough. We have enough Hummels. The world is full of Hummels. Buyer paid by card on Shopify and cost me $2.9, a 30% processing fee. That's the kind of money you want to keep. 3%. 3% it costs you to sell that. $450. Now, if we do my math, 3% of $450 is like 90 cents. Something like that. It's a 9 in it. I think there's a 9er in there. But anyway, that's what I want. So right now I'm paying the 12 plus anything else that I have to pay. 13.5 plus whatever else. So of course, because I'm organic. Let's see. 207010. Biff is saying 207010 seems to be as good as it gets. But if you could get an even higher number, first number, that would be ideal. Yes. So like I'm at 23 right now for some reason. I don't know why. Now, there is no detraction from the nuclear reset. So if you find yourself in the same category that I'm in, if you could afford, let's see. Okay. So if you can afford 15 minutes a day, because that's how long it takes me to relist my entire store every day. If you're around 2,000 items, if you've got a $60 eBay store, which is the premier store, you can do it for a full 31 days. Nope, sorry. There's one more very important thing. In fact, this is the most important thing. Why am I forgetting it? You must be listing most of your items. In my case, about 80% of my items are listed in the categories that eBay gives you zero insertion fees on. I probably should go there and read those again, but they're like music, I think comic books. There are a lot of collectibles. And so if you go on there, if you go onto eBay's list, maybe I'll pull that up in a second when I get through the comments, and read those 20 categories. Those are the ones you can list in without getting any. Well, you get 0 insertion fees, so you can list as many of those as you want. And if they're listing those, you can assume that these are quality categories that eBay wants you to list in. As long as they're giving you 0 insertion fees in these categories, means they want you to. Want more items in those categories. So just look at it. It's that easy. Those you can watch Jail Rides, and he can tell you to buy certain things which are hot. And there's no doubt. I'm not doubting anything he says for beginners, or what you should pick up. However, if you don't have those things, or if you're looking for a second sort of opinion on what to pick up, go right to the source. eBay lists those 0 insertion fee items in certain categories. Those are the categories they want you to list in because they're telling you right there. Am I right? Yes. Okay, go big. You're saying go big. Good Karma Antique says, what time do I nuke my stuff? I'm refining my reset time to see if it affects my sales. It does affect your sales at least a little bit. I am up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30. I want to get Eastern United States. I want to get my reset done by. So first of all, you can't do it before 3 a.m. because that's eBay's midnight. So if you're taking it to the next day, you have to, and we're on the East Coast, you have to do it after midnight, or it's yesterday, if that makes sense. So you have to do it after 3 o'clock in the morning, and I do it as soon as I can after that without waking up at 3. So 5:30, 6 o'clock, have it done by 6:30, which is, that's when people might wake up on the East Coast, do a quick run to see if there's any collectibles they need to get first thing in the morning. That's what time I do it. And I think it's a good time to do it. Plus, by the way, early to bed, early to rise, and you get a whole bunch of money. That's what Ben Franklin said once. Said something about worms too, but I don't know what that was all about. Motorcycle Dork says, that's one of the downsides I have found by eBay versus Shopify. The FedEx discount on eBay is nice. Shopify doesn't have a FedEx, so I have to use my own FedEx account, and it's way less of a discount. Do you have to use Shopify shipping, or can you use Pirate Ship? Go check out Pirate Ship if you haven't already, because they give you discount. I don't know if they do FedEx. They do UPS and USPS. But if you're not using eBay to ship things and you're using a platform that doesn't have it, or if you're selling things just off your own website, Pirate Ship, I think, is the way to go. 6x6, according to the 2070-10, is at 1849.35, and I'm saying that your 35 is from promotion. So if you were to stop promoting after a month or so, you would even out to 2070-10 or very close. Oh, and not sure if it's vintage said the same thing. So try Pirate Ship. Absolutely. Pirate Ship is great. It works really well. And in the case of eBay, I haven't used it enough with eBay to say you can transfer all your stuff, right? It just sucks them right over from eBay. So that it has an API access, so it can just transfer them right over there. But I don't know if it's cheaper, or if it is cheaper, is it worth the time to suck them over there and use that? I don't know. And if it is, it might just be a few pennies cheaper. But of course, if you don't have the eBay shipping access, it is a good discount. Pirate Ship is probably the best way to go. How did everyone Jack asks, how did everyone do who tried eBay's offsite pay-per-click promotion? Jack had a 1.92 ROAS. That is not good, and I would not pay for that either. And let's see, I can't remember. So the pay-per-click. Currently, the pay-per-click just sends you to someone's store from Google. That's what it does. Doesn't send you to particular items that I know about. It sends you to your store. So currently, I believe, although I have heard otherwise, just today, but my feeling is that the big stores benefit from it, but I don't know. I don't know. Now, big stores with low sell-through rates are a different animal than a big store with a high sell-through rate. So I have no idea how it's going to. I just know since pay-per-click ads have been invented, which was 20 years ago or whatever. What's the date today? 2023. So whenever pay-per-click ads came on, so in the mid 90s probably, or late 90s, mid 90s, it works for one thing, one item, a whole bunch of one item, one store, one thing where you want to get somebody to go to one thing, and you're paid clicking to get there. And I assume it's pay to click to a store in eBay, because if you're pay to clicking to an item, that's just stupid, because your item might only be $20, and now you just spent $50 on pay per click. So no, it's not a very good, useful thing unless you're someone who can absorb the click price and you are selling a lot of stuff. But Jack, your experiment on offsite ads, that sucks. Yeah, that 1.92 is not a valuable thing. Biscuit Bud, aloha, Biscuit Bud. Happy New Year to you too. Sorry, Biscuit Buns. I forgot to call you Biscuit Buns. Moronic Pest, aloha to you. Okay. I'm keeping relatively quiet since my past month sales were good and hardly anything promoted and hardly listing anything new. That's pretty much what our December was like. It's like, shh, don't tell eBay that we were almost happy with our sales, or they will figure out another way to reach around my wallet. I don't recommend that for others, but it still worked for me. I mean, it's not a recommendation, but we are trying to keep so what we're doing for 2024, I mentioned it last week, but we're going to double our inventory. But so we have two stores. One store, we put stuff that is not, I just deem it, I just wave my hand, I deem it not cool. Over to the other store you go. So it sells our B stock, B inventory. Let's call that. And although we still have kind of a theme to it, and it's still like fun, whatever. We never talked about this, but it's fun. But if you have a store on eBay, it doesn't mean anything to make it cool or make it cohesive or make your own pictures for categories or do things. But eBay encourages you to do that. So we have done the things eBay has encouraged you to do in hopes of increasing our everything. But putting in a store banner and putting in the category pictures or your own category pictures or whatever, it makes a theme. It's sort of fun, and it makes you feel like you're doing something. So I can suggest that to make you feel better. But our other store is, just a mishmash of things, and then our main store is collectibles. So yeah, but you should sneak around eBay when you have good sales, because they might try to take them away. The 1% who might benefit from offsite pay-per-click don't have YouTube channels and probably aren't in chat. No, they're not. That's right. So nobody on here do pay-per-click ads. Do not do offsite ads. Don't do them. It will not work for you. And it works for Macy's. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what Biff's talking about. That's what we're all talking about here. A motorcycle dork spent $250 and sold 5 items for $560. Wait. My eyes got blurry. I spent $250. Okay, $250. And then sold 5 items. 5. I don't know what we do with these numbers yet. For $567. Oh, now he just told me ROAS is, what was that? The ROAS? ROAS? Your ROAS is 227. Also garbage. Oh, that's a garbage number. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that shame on you, eBay, for taking the money from people like this. This is not good. But they're definitely caveat emptoring you with all these new products. They're putting it on you. If you pay for it, well, then there goes your money. I sold a Fiesta syrup dispenser a couple of years ago. Serious bolo. Is Fiesta ware still cool? I don't know. We got a lot of it. But we bought that when we first got together or whatever and made a house together. When we were in our early 20s. That was our pattern. That was our China pattern, was Fiesta ware. And we've never deviated from it for some reason. I felt like I would eventually mature into a different, a different type of dishware, but never did. We did finally I got my dream flatware a few years ago, and that was a Dansk pattern. It's very chic. They're impossible to hold. And if you have arthritis in your hands, it almost makes, like, I could eat easier with my hands than with my cool silverware. But you know how that is when you get old. Biff said, I really thought PL would beef up top 20. That's what they give you the idea that it would do, but it doesn't, of course. Yep. Not percentages, but it does. It doesn't help top 20 at all. No, it doesn't. And I think that's the reason. That's the true sign that this isn't doing anything. They created new marketing spaces, which are the similar items and other people bought or whatever, similar to Amazon, and they're charging you for them, even though they don't necessarily do anything. I mean, that's the facts. After 3 months of intense experimentation on this, and I'll go back to you can see this right off the bat. If you look at this, does not everybody see what I see, which is at the beginning of October, all that green is promoted listings. My organic impressions are up where my promoted listings were, but I'm not promoting anything. And if you go down here and you look at page views, this is, again, I forget, I do with Nuclear Reset every day. You're not going to get the same pattern without relisting every single one of your items every single day. Some of you have said that it's it seems it's not time intensive. You'll get used to it. It is, I think, the only legitimate way to get promoted listing type impression and page view numbers while not paying for promoted listings. Is that a fair thing to say? I think that is. So, yeah, I'm winning this not paying game. Still waiting for the other shoe to drop. It will eventually drop, I'm sure, but for now, I believe I'm winning. I haven't paid any promoted listing, anything for over a month, which is nice. Month and a half. That makes it 1.5% as nice. Let's see. Let's go down. Oh, the Tommy Bernard podcast. I get 60-ish impressions increase at my current promoted rate. 60-ish% impression increase at my current promoted rate. That is 65% added to non-search impressions. Yes. So when you promote and you promote a lot, that's the only place that goes up, really. And then it starts pulling down your top 20 and your rest of search slot impressions because you only have 100% to work with. So if you're as high as 65%, then which I was too when I was promoting. I remember seeing 70 over there. And before Biff really pointed it out, I wasn't really connecting the dots on that. So I'll always be forever grateful to... Holy cow. You guys are writing too many words. Wait. I don't even know where to go. Okay, there's Tommy Bernard. In search, so factually you get to see in search results promoting. Just have to promote accordingly to be in the reserve spots. Yes. 2% will get you in those reserve spots in the non-search impressions. So if you're going to do it, you should do it there. But again, allocate your top 20, your rest of, and then your not search. They do it themselves. And sometimes even if you're doing 2%, they're pulling down your other ones to jam them in that useless one, which is not useless. But again, it's not the same as searching. Category competition dependent on reserve spots as well. Yes, it does, of course. Most collectibles have 0 insertion fees. Biff Boffo. Yes, I'll go read those if I have time today. But everyone should be aware of those, because those, those are the ones that you can still make this place work properly. Category. The Tommy let me make sure I'm saying that right. The Tommy Bernard podcast. I've seen as high as 11 reserves per 20, so that leaves 9 spots fighting for organic new listings and auctions. Yeah. I'm just trying to I'd have to go back up and read his other ones. So simple math, the other numbers, simple math. You know who you're talking to? There's nothing simple about math for me. Unless it's got a dollar sign in front of it, I get confused pretty quick. That is a 65. So simple math, the other numbers drop. Yes, okay, that's exactly what we were talking about. And that is simple. Pi 2 squared. Aloha. I don't think I've seen you this year, so happy New Year. Pirate Ship does not have FedEx, but there are other similar services that do, and you can get the discounts for FedEx like Shippo and Veeqo. And I'm sure if I said a name right now, it would be R-rated, I'm sure. Because there are so many, they just make up names. Shippo. It's kind of like hippo, but you ship. It's a shipping hippo. I'm not sure what Veeqo is. Pirate Ship has UPS and charges $4 per day for pickup. Better service. $4 per day for. Thank you. Tommy Bernard podcast just told me something I didn't know. $4 per day pickup from UPS. So if you use Pirate Ship, you can get a $4 pickup from UPS. And since it's usually bigger items that we ship through UPS, that would probably be good for us.
But you pay for it even if you don't have a pickup that day, though, right?
I don't think so. I think it's saying you pay $4 per day per pickup. Well, yes. So if you have an actual UPS account, you end up paying per day anyway, right? Even if you have a pickup or not. Like $7 per day or not? I don't know. Tommy, you can answer that. Patricia says, I check every package, eBay versus Pirate Ship, and Pirate is cheaper. Oh, really? So Pirate Ship is always cheaper. Okay. Well, they have an API so that you can just suck all your items right out of eBay right into Pirate Ship if you choose to use them. And since the big not downgrading, but since all of our items went from 80% priority mail to 80% ground advantage, we saved a lot of money there and are making way more money on shipping now. And we're able to lower our shipping prices, encouraging more sales. So ground advantage is the biggest thing in shipping ever. But if I could even save more, it might be worth checking out Pirate Ship for that. 80% of the time, Patricia said they're cheaper. I've been trying some Google ads too, Biff Boffo says, getting 12% click-through. Not sure how many of those convert. Well, and you can't. So, the metrics aren't there for you to know exactly. But I wonder, so 12% click through.
On his own, though, right?
Yeah, through Google.
Right.
Directly. To his store. To his eBay store directly. And that's a 12% click through rate. I wonder what what's your PPC amount on that pay per click? I'd be curious. Let's see. Bendel 420, aloha. I need some best practice again. I had a few $300 days and a good November to December now. Crickets. Doing the nuclear reset and listing, but like a ghost town and boom and bust weeks. Really? Okay. So I guess it's just maybe that's depending on what you're selling. We've always found that the collectibles that we sell, December's a collectible month. So they actually build over the month and then find that January, February kind of continue with collectibles, mostly because they didn't get what they wanted for Christmas. They're excited to fill in the blanks in their collections. And we've noticed that has continued this year. The first week and a half, November wasn't great. And our fourth quarter was down. How much was it down? Like 38% over last year.
Dollars, but item quantity was up.
Because we're selling smaller items.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we were down, but we are selling smaller collectible items versus the bigger. We sold off a whole Amiga computer collection last year, and that was the people were rabid over that stuff. So normally we would have taken the time if we hadn't been spending so much time doing experimentation and trying to keep this new business coming in right at the wrong time, which is to say slower sale items with lower ASPs. That's what we're building our business on right at the wrong time. However, we have noticed that there is a floor and that we do have now the time to sprinkle in the higher ASP items and faster sell-through rates, but we can keep a store of collectibles, including records, comic books. But when we sell records, and 8-track tapes and stuff, but we're not selling, for the most part, we do have like 20% low, like $15 items maybe. But for the most part, it's $20 and up. And I would say there's not too many items on our, we do have a Barbra Streisand 45 because I've kept them there because people buy them. But for the most part, those would go over to our other site, which we are doing now. We're going to move even some of our collectible items that are lower price to our B stock eBay store and tried to raise the average sale price. But we started with like $140 per item last year. So, and now we're at like $40 per item this year. So it's not like, our average sale price, we've been at the high point. We've actually been super successful on eBay. What we're trying to do is be successful with fracking the hoard. My hoard's very large. We need to sell some of these, not the cherries, like all the other stuff. So that's been our experiment this year. And they decided to mess with us on the exact year when we're trying to do this new thing. But we're going to win. I feel like we're going to win. We're going to win this battle of eBay. We're going to sit at the end of eBay and go, here is my trophy. I won eBay. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Bendel 420, Tommy is saying blind. The problem with promoted listings is even the professionals are blind. They're not giving us good enough vision yet. And that's the problem. So we're all pretty blind. We're all experimenting at the very least. And my feeling is still this promoted listings, but it's a small little corner of our YouTube world here where we're all talking together about promoted listings. And if you're selling clothing, you must promote your listings. If you're selling collectibles, you do not. If you're selling everything, you may or may not, depending. So that's kind of, that's why I tried to, it's never going to work, but I tried to separate everything into collectibles, clothing, and everything sellers, where collectibles and everything sellers are closer. Clothing is its own animal. But clothing is such a low threshold to entry that so many people do it. That's where you have to promote. Just showing okay, let's see. Beep, beep, beep. 12 through Kyle. Yep. 300. Tommy says if you have great items. Well, and so Tommy, great items is subjective. So tend not to say great items because great items might be great, but might have a slow sell-through rate. So if you're saying high sell-through rate items, I mean, that would be a better way to term it versus great, only because what the hell is great? I mean, I can tell you what I think is great. It's not going to be the same thing. But if you are just using great as a fill-in for high sell-through rates, of course, we all know that. According to 6x6, spam is 22 years old. Of course, how old's... Wait, if you're 22, I would have had to have dated your mom before you were born. Oh, that's creepy. I don't understand how to get there. That's also math, though, so maybe I'm wrong. So wait, if I'm 54 and you're 22, it says spam still is 22. You're the only spam in the room. Patricia asked which dance pattern. Look how far back we are. Tauren. I think it's Torun. Tauren. The dance pattern. It's got the I eat with my knife like this, and I hold my fork like this. So the heel or the kneel, whatever you call the end of the knife, it fits right in there, real nice. Like that's what I like. But Tauren pattern. Aloha, everybody. Ladybug is in the house. Happy 2024. Welcome. Promoted. Tommy says promoted does help the top 20. I have people that test this for me religiously. Yeah, how much does it help promoting the top? I mean, I don't know. So right now, Tommy, if we can look at my numbers for the entire fourth quarter. That's not going to help you, but you can look at this one at least. This is the month of December, and you can see that I do not promote at all. No PL at all. Zero. No green at all out here. And I'm up at 23.4%. So just curious, what do you think explains that my search top 20 search slot impressions are above 20 and I do not promote at all? I mean, I think there's a lot to be said. It probably has much more to do with categories and things like that than it does. So the more flooded your category is, the more this is not... The whole promoted listing thing is really important for flooded categories, which clothing has to be the biggest and most flooded category because there's so much of it. But clothing is so interesting because it's the one thing that what else we don't need toilet paper. We kind of need food and water, but you definitely need clothing more than anything else, right? Like immediately. No, you can use your hand or a leaf or something, right? Go big. Okay, so let's try to get down here. My impressions have tanked like crazy. I'm sorry, Bendel. So what do we know about you? Bendel, what are you selling? Just curious. Tommy, it's just shown as non-search because you are paying for placement in top 20 versus organic top 20 placement. There is that Tommy Bernard podcast, because as I've pointed out, that when I did promote and you go to the advertising dashboard, it shows both your promoted listings and your organic promoted listings, which is interesting. And then you use all of your listings to give you your ROAS, I believe, unless I'm wrong about that. But that's what I'm still operating on, is that they use your organic. If you don't promote your whole store, they still use your organic sales as part of your ROAS. So in other words, it seems like you're selling more than you're paying for. So it raises your ROAS. It's okay. If promoted listings, okay, Biff is in the house. He's counterpoint to Tommy's point. If PL helps top 20, the rate must be higher than I've ever tried. I'm willing to believe Tommy. Okay, so maybe you're saying that you're doing like 20% PL. I'd be curious. 80s is in the house. Welcome to you. Better late than never. Indeed. Everybody, please, if you don't mind giving me a like on this here deal. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. Thank you. Let me know if you're seeing any. I did. We did get over 1,000. We turned on all ads across all things, and then I decided I'm going to keep ads off for a while. So if you're still seeing ads and you're pulling on to one of my videos or this live, just let me know so that I can do something else to try to turn them off, because I want them off for longer. I don't want a whole bunch of ads yet. Biff, if it didn't, you wouldn't see the reserve spots when you search. If it didn't, you wouldn't see the reserve spot when you search. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Those reserve spots have existed for a long time. I'm trying to think of my thoughts on that. If it didn't raise your top 20, yeah, it puts you in the top 20, so you get in those search slot impressions, but I don't think it works uniformly and consistently. No, I don't think so. I think it can, but I think it relies on other variables. It doesn't just, I'm going to pay this, therefore I'm going to see an increase there. That does not happen yet, as far as I know. Let's see. Exactly. I was promoting at 7 and doing well in views, impressions. Now it's tanked to like 34 less impressions. Yeah, I think it's important also to, well, you have less sales, Bendel, and you probably have said something lower I haven't gotten to yet. It definitely depends. Well, it depends on what you're selling, and it depends on the reset. If you're doing the nuclear reset, you're always going to get that organic blast at the beginning, and it kind of just smears over a lot. I did notice. Let's see if I can get. I don't know how to get there right now. I wanted to mention my sell-through rate is like my sell-through rate and my click-through rate are really low, because if you do the nuclear reset, you will not get one of them. You will not get the sell-through. No, you'll get the sell-through rate, because that's your page views divided by your sales. But you won't get the other one, which is because I'm relisting every single day. That goes away. Happy New Year, Jeff. Aloha. I caught some of your stream, did a post office run, came back, and we're still here. Yes. I talk a lot, and I feel like, after an hour and 12 minutes of talking, I feel like I haven't even gotten to my points. So, yeah, I just keep talking for a while. Tommy says, Bendel 420 promoting blind. Okay, wait, I read that a long time ago, didn't I? Which is true. Yes, promoting blindly is just, that's what they're relying on. That's what boosted their Q2 numbers. They're probably their Q3. Who knows what Q4 is going to be. Is promoting blindly. And we all had to do it to see what would happen. But once you realize that it doesn't do stuff. But Tommy Bernard podcast has, I'm not completely familiar with you. I apologize. But I feel like when you say something like you have a lot of people testing this for you religiously, like you have minion type things, not in a bad way. I'm just saying that I'm going to go over and check out your podcast and see if I can glean any more information from you, because it sounds like you've been doing some stuff. Hopefully I've been doing some different stuff so we can learn from each other. Just feeling the changes big time all of a sudden. It's crazy. Things were going decent for a few weeks too. Yeah, I mean, December blossomed for us for sure after a suboptimal beginning of Q4. To look at again, I used to be optimized all my listing per their recommendations. Yeah, I know one of the things is going away this year. I'm not sure why. I just sort of discovered it, and it really helped us. That's the active listing impressions, or no? It's a different one. It's called the listings quality report. I think that's the one that's going away. And yet it was the one that was really helpful. And yeah, why do you think that is? Do you think that's giving us too much information? And would allow us to know what Promoted Listings is really doing.
People can't find it and never knew it was there.
It's definitely a deep dive for people who really care. There's no doubt. I mean, there's like, it's dry, but it's also kind of fun to see, you know, where it gives you your ratings. And I'm like number 48 in vinyl records, which I thought was kind of cool. No. I am 900 in vinyl records, sorry. But I'm still in the top 1,000 in the United States of the world, eBay, right? But I'm 48 in computer manuals. That's where I'm.
Oh, Pi Squared says they decided not to get rid of the listing quality report, actually.
Oh, did they? Nice. Thank you, eBay. Because I don't look at it all the time, but I do. But when I look at it, I want to see it there, right? Just feeling okay. I'll have to look at it again too. Bendel said used it for optimizing all my listing for the recommendations. There's a place to schedule pickup in Pirate Ship. UPS is $4 each day. USPS is free. Tommy, is it USPS just? Can you just on the day you need a pickup, or it is like having a count there when you sign up for pickup? They come to you they charge you $7 a day or something, regardless of whether or not you have a pickup. Does Pirate Ship also charge you the $4 per day, regardless of whether you have a pickup, or only on the days that you schedule a pickup? Biff Boffo is paying 5 cents a bargain on the Google for his pay-per-click. Well, I mean, that's definitely worth doing something. I'd have to go up and look at what your results were, but that seems reasonable. Ayo Gusto says, U.S. pickup is demand for $4 through Pirate Ship, not a daily charge. Thank you very much. Ayo, welcome. I haven't seen your name before. Aloha, welcome to the program. $4 no matter how you ship. Bendel 420, strictly collectibles, cards, records, books, video games. Those are the items to be selling. Now, I guess let's see. Can I niche down what I sell? So let's see. Records. I sell 80s, 70s, 60s, tiny bit of Elvis. So that's those, and I sell 45s, and I haven't even busted into my vinyl collection yet, which I have about 10,000 records. So I got to get on this stuff. But the 45s is what we have been selling, and every day a couple of those, every other day a couple of those leave. And so mostly I would say Northern Soul. 80s stuff is 80s stuff, so new wave. 70s stuff is yacht rock, probably some northern or soul-y stuff. I'm trying to think of what else. Really good examples of 60s music, so like on yesteryear records or some of the reprints, but they're mint condition, so they're perfect for people at jukeboxes, perfect condition for jukeboxes. And soul stuff seems to be the stuff people buy there. Of course, Elvis, like I said, a lot of 60s, 50s, Elvis 45s. I think that's it, pretty much. Beach Boys don't sell worth a dang. I listed Beach Boys with all the other stuff. The Beatles stuff sold right away. The Elvis stuff sells really fast as soon as they put it up. Beach Boys just sits and languishes at under 20 of 45. So people don't want Beach Boys. That's the only thing I learned about 45s. People don't really want the Beach Boys. So what was the other things? Books I'm selling. The books I'm selling are very specifically Frank Manchel library. He is a professor of film studies, and he focuses on horror movies. So my books are very, very niched in that respect. The records, mildly niched. They were a collection from a very specific DJ who passed away here in Vermont, and discovered Bon Jovi by playing Runaway. It was the first DJ to play Runaway in the United States of America on WAAP. Sorry. WAPP. You're welcome. Ayo Gusto likes turtles. Yes, and who doesn't? Good Karma says, when was the last time anyone here paid only $4 for UPS pickup on pirate ship? Sounds too good to be true. I think that is true, but it is. But I didn't even know about it. So Tommy Bernard has taught me something, which is awesome. Arby's is pretty cool. Do they have turtle meat at Arby's? What are you saying? Pi 2 squared says, just check the site. $4 is what they're still charging. That's awesome. Biff Boffo says, Tommy would not classify my items as great. I'm not offended. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. I chose this life and it's working for me. We all choose this life. And I think the people who are gathered here on in this lovely place at this lovely time are collectible sellers, I think. Is that what we're sort of developing, a collectible seller sort of community here? Because there is a difference between an anything seller and a collectible seller. And I think the clothing sellers can get tips and pointers from all over, but it is its own unique animal, and it is a bulk of resellers. I think on YouTube, I feel like that's what I see. The bulk of the YouTube resellers, especially pro sellers, as opposed to collectible sellers who are also pro, but I'm just looking for terms. A pro seller would be an everything seller who sells full time, and a collectible seller could be part time or full time who sells for their full income, but is specific niching into collectibles as opposed to everything. With, I guess I don't even think we have 20% everything, right? And if we did, it would be on our other store. So we're very collectibly oriented on our main store. Because you have no promoted search, so your top 20 is only organic. But if I'm sitting there at 23%, Tommy Bernard podcast, isn't that just good? And why would I promote? Just curious. Clothing is like vegetables. It's rotten in just days. It's different. It's different, but it's there, and it's your knowledge has to be faster and more precise to make a full-time income on it. Because I've never even been to the bins, but there's people there. I mean, you're a lot of competition. That's the point, right? There's surprisingly, not a lot of competition in vintage computer manuals. Because, first of all, where do you get them? And so forth. And I had them by the probably thousands, I'm guessing, like old Apple manuals and stuff. We're down to 6 boxes maybe with about 300 manuals probably now. And we sell, so those are a part of our Fracking the Hoard. So I just traveled with those. They were in storage. They've been everywhere. And but we sold all the computers. Then we sold all the peripherals. Then we sold all the attachments and extras. And then this year or last year that's when we went, okay, Fracking the Hoard. We have to get down to the, $10, $20, $30. We found out some of the manuals are worth like 60, 80, $100 even in some cases. And so that's what we're down to. Isn't it crazy when you when I start a comment, you ever have that happen to you? You start a comment, and by the time you get to the end of it, you have no idea where you started from. And you're like, what am I saying? Why am I even saying that? I don't know. Manuals are good, okay? That's what I'm saying. Pi squared. Never had anything to pay for. That's just about the pickup. I think we know we're doing about the pickup. Clothing is like vegetables. Good morning, Just Cats. Aloha. Sorry it took me so long to read all these. Jeez. Not sure it's all these comments. There's a lot of comments. Thank you all for commenting. Please like and subscribe if you don't mind. Clothing and shoes are the only thing to sell that literally has signs requiring all humans wear them. Yes, exactly. So you got to have that stuff. It's more important than food. So it's you know, it's almost, but it's not a sure thing. That's the
But if you
thing.
don't eat, then you're dead, and then you don't need
But you don't have to, you could be naked for a few days. You could not eat for a few days, I suppose. But if you're naked for a few days, you're going to be cold and people are going to laugh at you. So clothing's more important than food. Howdy, y'all. Good luck with everybody in 2024. Blake Gorfine, thank you for the comment. Nesbitt experience, not sure. Yeah, I'm just talking the ills of the fast fashion with the younger gen. Yeah, it's happening. It's always, I kind of thought about, you know how in the 80s and 90s probably even more, whenever you saw, you still see, this still happens. Whenever you see not necessarily third world, but often third world places, and also countries that are having strife or something, you used to see it a lot more, but you still do. You would see our old clothing everywhere on the news, like Hawaii 1986. You know, you'd see that stuff because we used to send all of our clothing. You couldn't keep gaylords of clothing. Would just be boatloads would go all over the world to different places. And now, instead of being sent across seas, those gaylords are sent to bin places. So there must be a lot of naked people in other parts of the world now that don't have our 80s clothing. Can you imagine how many expensive shirts just went to, Belize? I don't think Belize ever got our shirts, but somewhere. I don't want to say somewhere bad. That would be rude, so I don't want to say anywhere. Biff said, I classify any item as great if you love what you sell. Yes. Tommy with the comment that brings us all together. Ladybug loved the rave pants video. Thank you for responding to our request. Absolutely, you got it. What we did with that too is that we filmed that probably a year ago. And we went through our old, we haven't released this. We shot a whole bunch of videos and never released it. So we're just kind of going back and pulling some of those beauties out and filming new stuff. But I did about 4 or 5 videos about packaging, I guess last year and earlier this year. And that was one of them, the rave pants. That's why it actually it's not really a full video. So I just talked about rave pants for a while and then half packaged them, and that was the whole video. Tommy speaks with logic. I've never heard him spout nonsense. Sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry I haven't heard of you. I haven't had enough time to listen to enough people, so I'm going to be over consuming some of your creation. No, I have a close group of friends that are located around the country that we run searches for each other. Ooh. And test placement. Searching your own items is nonsensical because the distance is weighted. Yes, and distance is weighted. That seems to be, I heard just yesterday on one of the lives. I think it was Soda City Flips. J-Ride was on there. Was it a live or was it J-Ride's video where he said, it was the live, and he was talking about making an eBay conspiracy because he's noticed that things have been shipping closer to him rather than farther. And that's not a conspiracy. We've been noting that for months, if not the better part of this year. At least since June. That's not really the better part. Well, last year, 2023. To the West Coast, yes. So that is totally true. It's not a conspiracy. They're definitely geo-fencing or geo-caching or geo-something. And it kind of makes sense when you think about their whatever that nonsense is that they do. Like, it's not nonsense, but their investors want them to be part of that thing where they're making a lower carbon footprint, these kind of things. So it would make sense if that's what they're trying to accomplish, to make shipping more closely linked to the destination where it's coming from and where it's going to. That would save some of resources on the planet of Earth, but it makes us annoyed. Sellers. But humans are a replaceable commodity, so maybe humans aren't the most important thing. I'm really interested about searching too, because I would like to know sort of what people see in different parts of the U.S. when they search for the same thing. I can access the report. Yay. Also, Chemo, I do collectibles video. Wait, I already read that. I have 200,000 competitors in my category, so I have to pay very close attention to everything. Yes. And that's what we all have to do now. That's basically what we have to do now. Is we just have to be, we spent 20 years just putting, I mean, we never, yeah, we did. eBay was on speed thing. I've probably talked too long. I can't remember anything. Well, what do you call speed alert? What do you call speed control? Come on. Cruise control. Jeez, eBay was on cruise control for years, for 2+ decades for us. And we only popped our head out of the water in June. We've only really only being paid attention since June. We have made a very a robust full-time income off of eBay without paying attention. And that's the big difference. We have to pay attention now. No contract. Okay, cool. Tommy says there is no contract, just $4 for a pickup. That seems very, very practical. I recommend Pirate Ship for UPS now. I'm a clothing seller, but I don't source at the bins. Nesbitt does not source at the bins. Actually, never seen a bin store. I'm in New England. You're close by, Nesbitt. The Goodwill here, everything is hung up. Oh, okay, so you can see everything. We just got in Burlington, Vermont. Just got a bins like last year. All data is category independent, is dependent, and most important to understand, we have been ending and selling similar since inception. With my categories, it's not even on the same planet. It results as promoted. So I'm sorry, I took a second to absorb your words. So in your category is so crowded, Nuclear Reset does nothing. It has to be promoted. Not saying that's clothing, but that is my understanding about clothing. Although Kevin, Stoic Reseller, does not promote, but I have this feeling he just knows his quality of clothing items is he's very knowledgeable on that, and I think very focused. So he may, but then I also don't know what cost of goods sold are on basically anything. And we're running, our business is Fracking the Hoard portion of our business, which has been lasting for about, I think I started it in 2019. And we're maybe 3 years left where we don't have to buy anything. But we do, because if it's there, I'm going to buy it. But we don't have to buy anything. I still believe we're both at Nesbitt Experience. We're both at the Woodstock 99 Rave Primo. Do you still have any of those tees left? I do. I have some Woodstock 99 tees. I can bring them up. I also have a stack of they're the ones that say Woodstock 99, where the Woodstock's in like blue letters with the stars on it, and then it's a big 99 that's red and white stripes. So it's like an American flag, but it's like a 70s shirt that says Hawaii 99 or something, but it says Woodstock 99. And I also have a big stack of heat transfers that we never made into shirts, but they are 25 years old, so I don't know if they'll stick anymore. It's the search it's in the Tommy Bernard. So you're the guy that reads like the white papers and stuff, or the black papers or the white papers, one of the colored papers about with all the details in it. Well, black papers are for drugs, right? Maybe that's for drugs. So the white papers are for companies. It kind of gives the details. Georgia, welcome. Haven't seen you here this morning. Welcome to 2024. They have a giant idiocracy type piles of fast fashion in Africa. Are they even, they're not going to get anything, because by the time you package up our new fast fashion into Gaylords and ship them, by the time they get to Africa, they'll be just dust, because that stuff doesn't fare well. Tommy says somewhere up there now. Okay, he was talking about some shops up in Maine. If you don't promote, you're selling under market to wait for the buyer that knows how to sort low to high. Only two ways to really slice it. Yeah, Tommy, that's one of the issues with not promoting. Well, that's one of the things. So again, I'm listing in the zero insertion rate categories. So there are things that eBay wants me to sell. I have 2,000 items in my store that I can nuclear reset the entire store once a day. And then the stuff that I sell, I sort of, I like to sell stuff that people will sort from high to low. And people sort from high to low when they're looking for a high quality collectible. So that's my niche, is high quality collectibles. And that is to say a Elvis record in near mint quality from the 1960s versus an Elvis record in very good quality. So I don't graded. Yes, so they're graded records. So I would expect that a near mint Elvis record, certain ones, very specific ones. There are some from the Golden Collection. It's, that's minutia. But if somebody looking for that, and I guess it's a high sell-through rate item. I don't know. It's not really, because it doesn't sell that fast, but it will sell. And, I don't look at those numbers enough to know that when I list something on, like if I list an Elvis record 45 for $60, I look at Discogs, I look at research on eBay. I usually look to see if there's any available. And if there's none available and they sold for a high price, I might raise that price even a little higher, knowing that I'm going to give somebody a 20 or 25% off. So that's how I run my operation, sort of.
A higher price equals a higher grade, and that's why people search on higher price.
Yes, they do search higher price if they're collectibles and they're looking for a higher grade. I think that's a trick. That's not necessarily a hack, but it is something to keep in mind, because it does make a difference. Nesbitt says, Primo, no way. My dad would love one. Okay, well, Nesbitt, how do you get a hold of me? Go to Instagram. Send me I have Instagram, right? Primo Chemo on Instagram. If you send me a message through there, that's an easy way to get a hold of me. Well, it's not easy because I only look there every 5 days, and then I see somebody's there 5 days ago, left a message, and I didn't respond to it. But I'll look if I know you're going to send me something. I'll take a look. Boop, boop, boop. I've been to Bins in Maine, and Benda lives in Maine. They aren't that awesome. Clothing is marauded by the same group every rotation. Yes, and that's also why clothing is in its separate category, because you're battle hardened. It's a different world. So, and I chose not to get involved in that world, mostly because I don't want to fight too much. So,
Like lots of returns too, maybe.
Returns, yeah. Well, our return experiences, we have very few returns. And we have one return currently going right this second, which was for a Compaq Portable 2, a huge suitcase computer. Works great. Nothing wrong with it or anything. Sent it to the person. He received it. Seemed to be fine. I didn't send a power cord with it. Now I'm guessing this is kind of one of the things Josh Galt always says, and I've followed this. This is my methodology too, is when it comes to business, it's all in my control. It's not totally in my control, but I like to say it's all my fault in the sense that I can act. I can do something about it. I want it to be all my fault. The more fault I can absorb means the more control I technically have over it. So that's why I say something like it's all my fault. But in the sense that we've done this a million times, but I sent this computer item without a power cord. It's not listed in the item. It's not pictured technically with the item. It's not off to the side. We take perfect pictures, beautiful pictures. That's my photographer right there. She's like a mwah, whatever that is. Mwah, 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 mwah. So she does that, and she there were no pictures of the cord. And since it was something that plugs in, there is a tiny picture of the cord in 3 of the pictures where it's plugged in. And you can just see the cord in the background of the picture because it's plugged in. And she didn't remove it, erase it or anything. So it's there. But it's not shown. So he got the item and he was like, there's no power cord. And I'm like, well, it's a standard power cord. All the new things have it right now, but I'll send you one. And he said, hold on that. I might have to file a return. He did file a return because it was missing a power cord. So then I sent him the power cord. And so today is the last day to respond to I have to accept the return, reject, or give them a partial price or whatever. So I called up eBay today. By the way, eBay answered the phone. They answered the phone, and they, with a lot of credibility and I felt knowledge, told me. I also recorded the conversation because in Vermont you only one side of the conversation has to know it's being recorded, which is interesting. And she said, oh no, absolutely. What I'm going to do is you accept the return. I will put in the tracking number for the item that the power cord. And, we will, I think what's going to happen is they're going to investigate it and then find in my favor. That's what she said. She said it verbally. We have it recorded, but I don't think we're going to get to that point. And I do not think this person really wanted to return the item. I think they just were a little taken aback by not having a power cord. And I have to remember that and I don't know how old this person was. If I'm selling a vintage computer to a younger person, just might not have a bunch of power cords lying around. I got 50 of them over here. So in the future, I might just learn a lesson. Send the power cord. It's no money. I just didn't think of it because that's just not how we've ever operated. So maybe we learn 2 things today. $4 UPS pickups from Pirate Ship. Send a power cord. Tommy says in the searches of buttons, and we already read that. Somewhere up. Okay. Yeah, read that. If you don't promote, you're selling. Okay. We were talking about that. I've been to the bins. They aren't that awesome. Okay. Ladybug said, we looked for land in Maine, but ended up buying in Vermont, trying to work my way more north. Do we know Lady Ladybug was in Vermont? Did we know that, Lady Ladybug? I remember I still think she's in the UK for some reason. I'm just like, because she was Lady Aldybug at first, and then I'm like, but that sounds British. I'm just going to go with that. So now you're just forever from Britain. Tommy says, I sell athletic shoes. 90%. Shoes would be something that they definitely are going to use. 90% is best match because that's the default, and people don't know how to even deviate from that, maybe. Click prettiest pictures. My biggest competitors sell way cheaper. They must hang drywall on the side with those margins. And that very well may be true. So Tommy you are a shoe seller. That's what you do. That's your main thing. Or are you just saying you do sell those? I'm in Delaware and it's farther north than I want to be. I don't know how you handle the cold. Heaters, mostly. Lots of heaters. And I wear shorts. I don't even wear pants. So I like to keep a nice layer of blubber over me, too. That also helps with the cold. So Ladybug is in Pennsylvania. That's what I thought. And have land waiting for me in Vermont to develop. Awesome. Without being too specific, Southern Vermont or Northern, are you above 89 or below 89? And 89 is the freeway that cuts Vermont sort of in half. And it goes from Montreal to Boston.
89?
Yeah. Well, it goes into 93 eventually over in New Hampshire. But 89 goes all the way from, we drive all the way up to the border, and then we go right through all the way up to Montreal. And then you can go all the way down, all on the freeway, down to Boston. What cold in 2024? There is no more cold. I know. We had a couple of flurries yesterday, and we are like, "Oh my gosh, it's so precious, Christmas, yay!" Other than that, it's just gray in the winter. Ladybug says Ludlow area. Very nice. So you're down south. So if you go below 89, you're more into like Massachusetts, Vermont, where it's very Vermonty down there. If you go above 89, you're like in the, I mean, Burlington is the general Burlington area is not part of the hillbilly Vermont, but anything above 89 is very rural. Let's call it rural. Hillbilly? Hillbilly. Hillbilly. Are there any hillbillies that are insulted by the word hillbilly?
I don't think it's allowed anymore.
Oh. We have a young nephew who basically any word I say is no longer acceptable. So, no descriptive words ever again. Blue. What? Blue? He gets he lets me know. I appreciate that. Tommy says, yes, 90% shoes. I have a death pile of other things I like to look at and can pivot to if need be. 2-car garage and basement full of gaming consoles, vintage Apple products, vintage ATV parts, BMW parts, etc. I mean, your 10%, your other stuff is kind of like more what we sell. And all that stuff has high sell-through rates, but if you know the shoes, if you know the clothing categories, this is the way to make a full-time living on eBay. So what we're left for in Fracking the Hoard is a whole bunch of busted electronics. Now, I'm what do you call me? I'm a hack, but I can solder things, component level stuff. I can fix Apple IIs. I can fix, Nintendos. It's when you have surface mount technology. I can't fix any surface mount stuff, but most items that require basic replacement of components or soldering, I can do general testing to find out if capacitors are bad, things like that. So all this stuff I can fix, but it gets put aside because you can sell shoes. So we know that. So the Fracking the Hoard mentality is to sell all the stuff that's just ready to go and is small and fits in a you just put it in a thing and ship it. And so for 23 years, that's not what we've sold on eBay. For 23 years, we've sold furniture, mid-century modern, computers, big stuff that nobody else gets into because it is big. And then now we're old and don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. So now we're trying to be real people and sell stuff normally, and that's when they screwed up eBay for us. So now we're trying to figure out how to work it all out and make it all work. But we're going to, and it's going to be true. Death piles should be items that don't lose value. And yes, exactly. If they gain value, it's never bad. But in our case, now it's in our living room because the pandemic, we just got out of everything. Well, we do have one storage place left, and it's kind of big, but it's cold storage. So anything that we didn't want to be, left out in the cold and hot and humid is now in our house, which we'd like that to leave, please, someday. But yes, it's not really a death pile. It could be a profit pile. Positive words would be, how about backstock? That's my word, backstock. I've never had a problem using hillbilly. Okie should be used with caution. Okay, don't use that word. He put it in quotes, so it's okay. That's a Okie from Muskogee. It's an Oklahoma person. Okie. I wouldn't say okie dokie. That sounds bad news to me.
Oh no.
I don't know why. It just sounds like it sounds too old to be not rude. I have no idea though. George Aha says, been doing semi-nuclear reset since November 24th and set records for every metric in December for the month. I was up 23% in net sales over December 22 when I was actually promoting. So you're saying in 2022, you're not promoting. I'm sorry. In 2023, you're not promoting. So until this promoted listing gets figured out completely, and it's most certainly category specific, Tommy said, Tommy needs to promote in the shoe category because it is a flooded category. Now, how many of those shoe sellers are good sellers? I don't know. But you should, we used to rise to the top by being a good seller. Now you got to pay for it. So, Tommy says that he has got a G3 still in the box. Wow. Another one complete mint without box. I love looking at them. I have a blue one and a teal one. That's awesome. Yeah, those are, I'm not sure how collectible G3s are yet, as far as the colored ones. People do collect them, the IMAX and the stuff that came in colors, but they're not blowing up like the, like a original Macintosh or something. But all Apple stuff has value, and all Apple stuff will go up as long as they're the hottest company on the planet. You can't hurt yourself by collecting Apple stuff, especially if it's at a good price. George Rojas said not promoting. Yes. What is a nuclear reset? That is the promoting your entire store. I'm sorry. That is not promoting your store and relisting the entire contents of your store every day to take advantage of the first day organic boost. End and relist. End and resell. Stop. Everybody stop. The wrong words are being said. End and sell similar. There's no relisting involved in the nuclear reset. Relisting is not a word I want to use. I just accidentally use it. End and sell similar. So the nuclear reset is ending and selling similar your entire store every day, not promoting, in order to take advantage of the first day organic boost. Also had Vertigo for 2 weeks and only managed to list 3,000, but sold to, I don't know if you're being serious or not. Like, I'm assuming you had Vertigo and could not list because of staring at a computer would have been gross. But thank gosh you had a great week. And yes, and I don't necessarily, I've never really thought that, keeping your store active and listing items every day is a good thing. But let's say you had 10 bars of gold in your store. So if you're selling things and it's lower than the price and they're high sell-through rate items, I don't think it matters how many items you list, but you're not going to sell them unless you list them, and that's why you should list them. Yes. I don't know who Tommy's referring to. They end and sell similar daily. Oh, me. Maybe me. Yeah. You're part of us. Me, us. ROAS. I'm holding my old graphite iMac to sell in 40 years. Yeah, Biff. I won't be around in 40 years, so good luck to you. That one. I'm not planning on being here. Please don't let me be here in 40 years. Such a decrepit old 94-year-old mess. I don't want to. Don't let me do that. Unless you can chop off my head like Walt Disney and just stick it on like a robot body or something, that'd be cool. I don't have that. Here. Geez, are they selling black market iPhone chargers? Probably. I'm guessing. I don't know. I paid $14,000 in promoted fees for $162,000 in 2003. That works. Okay, hold on. $14,162,000 in sales. Well, the question is, of course, Tommy, I don't even have to write this down to say if you didn't spend $14,000, would you have still sold it? I know for you, the answer is no, because you're selling shoes. There's no possible way you could do it in flooded categories. Could I sell $162,000 in computer manuals and spend zero on promotion? Yes. So this is category specific for sure. And I think that proves it more than anything. The question is, what would you prefer to do? I've been on the internet for 2 hours and there's still 45 people watching. You guys are crazy. Or is it me? So one of us is crazy. Perhaps both of us. All of us are crazy. You do have to decide. I can't go past 2 hours though. You do have to decide, like, how are you going to run this business? And I think Tommy said, you're selling shoes. Now, do you love shoes? Or are you just okay with shoes? Shoes pay the bills. So that's the question.
Look at his last comment.
I have no more than 350 items at any given time. Again, category specific. Yeah, for sure. And up until last year, until we started our Fracking the Hoard experiment, we didn't go over 350 items until last year, right? So we were like, oh my gosh, we have 400 items. Oh my gosh, we have 1,000 items. Oh my gosh, we have whatever items. And that's because we're listing $20 45 records. Now, they're going to sell. They're just they're not high sell-through rate items, but we never had more than 350 items. And I kind of felt like I should have more items. I should be doing more business, but that didn't become necessary until we decided that we were old and getting older. And now I've I kind of made a 10-year plan to ride this thing out to retirement. So in 10 years, I'll be 64. So my whole point was to get this Fracking the Hoardery in action before that. So we could be shipping. So for the next few years, however long, we can switch from shipping furniture, computers, big annoying, heavy computers, to small things. So the choice to switch our items and switch to lower sell-through rate. I mean, yeah, we could sell watches. Those are easy. But I'm not very excited about watches. We sold a few. I bought a few Rolexes and sold them and wore them. And it's just, I don't wear watches. So that's not my thing. I do wear shoes, however. But since my feet are kind of fat and flat and triple wide now, I can't wear cool shoes. So I don't care about shoes anymore. I hate shoes. Yeah, shoes are meh. I would like to fit back into, hopefully this year. Oh, I'll just give you, and then we got to go. So 89 pounds was the final. I gained 6 pounds over Christmas. 89 pounds was the final weight loss for 2023. And we start this year and shoot for that 100 again. So I can absorb losing 100. So we will be, well, what will we be at 100? So let's see. So gotta do math again. Okay, hold on. Let's see. If I lose 100 pounds, I'll be at somewhere around 220. So we're starting. We've already started, so we'll try to get down to 220 by the end of this year. I'm not saying my way is the only way. Oh no, Tommy, I understand. It's just good to have data from lots of models, categories for viewers. That's what we want. That's it. And that's why I'm starting to, I think there's very specific mindsets for clothing, shoes, because exactly of what you're saying about the category, about the specifics, about the need to promoted list, all those things. And then of course there's everything sellers have a different thing to worry about, and collectible sellers have a different thing to worry about. And collectible sellers are the ones who are really sort of, I think, the most taken by surprise by the eBay changes. Yeah, we're going to say something.
Oh, just make sure you address that last comment.
Okay. So eBay bought, okay, so Bendel says, I think eBay drops the ball in implementing these changes. What company doesn't do a tutorial? They don't inform me about any of the changes. It is crazy. And etc., and how to do new features. Subscribe to the eBay channel on YouTube. They do explain some things, but not telling you how to use this stuff is part of their plan. If you knew how to use this, you wouldn't use it the same way. You wouldn't use promoted listings the same way. You wouldn't waste promoted listings like most of us are doing or have done. You would be really, really in tune to it. So we have to, and Tommy seems like another great resource. I'm going to go watch some of his videos. And I think he's passed through my ears before. And the fact that, he's been doing the testing to see what really is happening. This is very much like James, my boring reseller life, is I don't care what anybody's selling. I don't really tell you what to sell. I'm very interested in how what you're selling is selling and what you do to sell it. That's what I like. Yes. Okay. The quirky picker. Aloha, Chad. I think that's your name, Chad. Welcome. Kind of new here. I have 1,200 items on eBay. I'm an everything seller. You suggest I end all my items every day and sell similar. I suggest that if you are having page view issues, if you have a store that you pay $60 a month for, a premier store, that you can relist those items, those 1,200 items every single day. Well, okay, so here's my scenario. I have 2,000 items. 80% of those items are zero insertion fees that eBay gives in certain categories, collectibles, if you have a certain store. So I have 2,000 items a month. I relist them every day, which means I'm basically relisting 60,000 items a month. Sell similar. 60,000 items a month. So between my 10,000 on my store and the 50,000 that eBay gives me, the amount of collectibles I have fit into there. So most of them, every time I do a reset, I use about under like maybe 30 or 40 from my 10,000 from my store, and the rest of them come off the 50,000 eBay just gives you without a store. So I don't know where your 12,000 items are. That's part of the issue. But if you are having slow sales and you are having lowering page views, end all of your items in the morning. Do it early in the morning as possible. End them and sell them similar. The term relist, I'm using that, but don't use the relist button. Use the sell similar button. Relist those items and see how many you used. Go back to your overview, see how many came out of your store, see how many came out of your zero insertion fee, and then you'll kind of know how many times you can relist your items per month. It very much depends on what categories you're in. I'm in music, video games, comic books. These are all zero insertion fee categories that eBay gives you 50,000 a month on. So that's very important part of it. But you should see a significant page view boost. Does that lead to sales? That's a matter of the items that you're selling and the price. It is easy to make mistakes. I didn't put out a video because I didn't want to be responsible for people's mistakes. I do have one. Maybe we should put it out. And I do not end anything with watchers or offers. First of all, the offers are out. I want people to have them there to accept them should they come. And watchers, I do relist. I do end and sell similar watched items eventually. Like I give them a few days because sometimes people are watching. Usually a watcher is just another reseller, but not always. And you can sometimes tell, like if I've got 4 Kinks 45s up and all those have watchers, but none of them have offers out. That's so. Who are you waving at? Maria. Wait, is Maria here?
Yes.
Wait, I don't see her.
M.
Aloha, Maria. Let me finish reading these, and then I gotta go because it's been 2 hours. Jeezum Crow. That's what we say up here in Vermont. Could give us a promo $20 to finish learning how to promote. They don't really want you to know too much about the promoted listings. This is what I'm saying. This is social engineering. They're taking advantage of you. It's not, taking advantage of someone isn't the worst thing in the world, but it has a context to it. I mean, it depends on the context. It has a ring about it that's not good, but they're taking advantage of sellers who don't know how to use it. That's how they're making the money. So now we're to M. Hi. I think there's an important distinction between reselling things you like to sell and reselling certain items for profit. We can love both, all types of resellers. Absolutely. And it's just important to, to know where I'm coming from, and I'm coming from a collectible point of view. So I'm trying to, the three main categories that I see are collectible sellers, everything sellers, sometimes collectible sellers and everything sellers cross over. And then there's clothing sellers. These are distinct separate ones, but there's obviously a Venn diagram where, it crosses over in the middle somewhere. But I think clothing, shoe sellers, you have to be it's a very specific knowledge base to be good at it and to make a full-time living at it. Collectibles, I think it's pretty easy to make a full-time living at it, but eBay has thrown us a curveball. And selling everything sellers, if that's specifically what you do, you can change up your inventory at any given time. So the troubles at eBay probably did affect you, but it's easier to pivot. Collectible sellers can't pivot that way. So I think I'm trying to focus my channel more onto the collectible resellers while keeping in mind the clothing, shoe, and everything resellers. But really, everything I'm learning is about a collectible reseller. So that's why I'm separating them. But they're not really separate. And so amazing. Thank you so much. We're amazing. Happy New Year. Tom, okay, I'm going to get through the comments and then I got to go. I think, hold on. Tommy Bernard says, also, most YouTubers give such bad data, talking gross numbers, not stating their only clear 10 to 20% max. Shipping is 50% of the sales, just blinding viewer with gross sales. Yes, I mean, the numbers, the amount of money you make from eBay is, the reason why we're doing this is to pay our mortgage and pay for diapers, and how much you need all depends. But if you're on YouTube and you're trying to get views, the easiest way show what you should buy, show what you did buy, and show your intense numbers. So I don't really show my numbers at all. I have shown them a few times. They're embarrassing and disgusting, so I don't even want to show them. But they're enough to pay the bills. They're just about half of what we had in June without trying very hard. Now we have to try hard to keep 50% of what we had in June, but we can bring it back up. I'm very confident of that.
Tommy does not do YouTube.
Oh.
Don't waste time on my channel. eBay was suffering.
Oh, okay. Well, we've made $1 million since having 1,000 followers, 1,000 subscribers since last week. We're millionaires. Look at us. No, but you know what I would like to do is take another moment just to thank everybody for subscribing and following us. And enjoy, all the information I'm getting from you guys. I don't learn the same way. I can't I just can't look at a book and then absorb that information. Like I need to have hands-on and having conversations with everybody and watching certain reseller videos on YouTube, which for the most part aren't bolos and what to buy, what sold. I just want to see people talking about their experience, and that helps me the most. So hopefully I'm giving back a little bit of that, and I'm really enjoying the conversations in here that help with that. So the market price today may be way different than when you listed it. Big problem with big stores is you lose grasp on this. Yeah, for sure. Big stores for sure. Although I think, James has done a good job. James is with a $50,000 store actually raised his 50,000 items store. I said, and he has also. Well, he's also that actually hurt my lips to do that. He has raised his prices on many items.
Your mouth looks like a ball.
Butthole mouth. Gross. Don't say that. My stuff, you're going to, Patricia's not going to like that. She's going to leave. Also, the market, wait, you already said that. The market prices shifted significantly. J-Ride, I don't have any, go watch J-Ride. He's not, I don't promote him because he's a different type of, his videos are different. So they're for beginning sellers, and they are showing bolos and what sold and everything. So that's just why I don't point to him. But he does have good little nuggets every once in a while. Plus, he hates old people. And
Why do you don't say that?
he hates old people. But what he does, he has some real good nuggets in there. And one of them is that the prices changed. The prices have changed in the past year on a lot of stuff from the pandemic. So if you haven't repriced your items from the pandemic, you have to. Board games just aren't, things just don't sell for the same. Actually, they didn't before the pandemic, then they did, and then now they didn't, and there's a lot of new resellers too. Stuff sells always sells after 4 p.m. Eastern, so I do en masse around 2 p.m. Eastern. So Patricia, when I say I do it at 6:30 in the morning, that's just my idea of how things work. So it's interesting to see that you do it at 2 p.m. and you've been having good results with that. I like to hear that. I have a foolproof way to end sell sim without deleting listings. No, you don't. I'm just going to say, no, you don't. I don't know. He didn't answer the thing. Let's see what he says. Freddie Russell. Love the Expo House. Thank you very much, Freddie. Don't think I've seen your name here. Thank you very much for joining us. Hi from Western New York when we were the Jamestown Expos watching with my grandfather. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us here. Yeah, they're gone. Expos aren't even a thing. And back, Vermont had the Vermont, I think, do we still have the Vermont Expos?
No, it's the Lake Monsters.
It's now the Lake Monsters, but we used to have the AAA team here for when the Expos existed. M loves the Venn diagram. Wants the beeps. Tommy says, Patricia and I get very few sales before 2 p.m. 1 to 3 a day, maybe at best. Rest come after. Interesting. See, our sales happen early in the morning and at night, too. Yeah, they happen at night, so I guess that's... Well, we don't have sales during the day. I'm going to have to keep a better eye on that to see. We definitely get them early in the morning and, well, in the afternoon, I guess, in the evening. I don't know. I don't even know, to be honest with you. We never get them during the show, though. So that's important. So I guess I don't get them in the afternoon.
They are during the night, I feel.
They are. Yeah, it's weird.
And we get a lot of make offers during the night.
Tons of them, yeah.
Maria agrees with Tommy.
Vague references to show success. Yeah. Just to get the views and stuff. I understand why they're doing it. I don't have anything against that. But, I think that like somebody like J-Ride that's got so many people following him. These people are looking to him for real information that, ideally it'd be wonderful if it wasn't skewed by the desire to get hits. But I don't know. I don't see him that bad. I just don't see, I don't know. If you're on YouTube, you're trying to get views, I guess. Patricia, okay, I already read that. If I click list 50,000 times, I better be making 2 million in sales. Yes, that's true. Jory Jaha says, I sell, 6x6 says, hi, welcome back. I wonder what happened. Or if he's talking to, because we're back. Hi, we're back. We've been on here for 2 hours and 13 minutes. We got to go.
Hurry up, get through the thing.
Okay, Jory Draws says, I sell toys, books, video games.
Say hi to Tim.
No.
He's right below
Where?
Maria.
Okay, I'm not there yet.
Yes, you are.
I am. Where?
Where she said Tommy facts. Vague references.
Oh, Tim Halcomb. Aloha, Tim. Sorry. Missed it. Welcome to the show, which we're about ready to end. And I got to end. But George Jaha says toys, books, video games, holiday villages, dolls, tools, ornaments, DVDs, golf clubs, cameras, ostomy supplies, mugs, flatware. So I would tell you right away, toys, video games. That might be all that's on the free 50,000 zero insertion fees. I don't think books are on there. They might be, though. I can't remember. I should have shown that, but I didn't, so we'll have to do that tomorrow. Patricia does not end and sell similar every day. Biff Boffo does. There's no danger in deleting items the way I do it. Oh, I see. Yes, I do not. I do not. When I end and sell similar, I start every day and I empty my ended item folder. Then I go to my active listings and I end items to go into the ended item folder. So I do it a little differently than some people. So then I go into my ended item folder and I just relist. And I do not erase them. Because if you erase them, that's when you get into, that's where you accidentally risk erasing 200 of your items. You can get them back, but it's a pain in the butt. You don't ever want to do that. But yeah, Biff, if you could tell me how else you do that, and then I have to go because I really have to go. If I don't get sales every hour, I call eBay and demand a new server. No, he's not serious. He said JK, LOL. No, yeah. And it's not that. I mean, that's not a server for sure. I mean, the servers, the data, there are servers, but all of our information is spread across multiple servers. So it can't just be the one. LOL Tommy, George, J-Ride has very anti-age bias. That's the only thing I find wrong with him. I mean, there's a couple other things, but wrong is just, I'm just saying, get off my lawn, youngster. He's a little young. He's a little pro youth. Go Huskies, aloha. He is unwatchable. I don't delete anything until I approve my active listings. Yes, that's it. Ostomy Supplies, George Aha. Please don't tell me, hey, Froze. There's a huge market for the same. Yeah, he knows what to do. Biff Boffo, we pretty much do the same process. It is safe. Yes, and that's the only way you should be doing it. But I guess I'm probably gonna have to put out that video. Hopefully, it'll explain it. I have a suspicion that if I put out this video, it's gonna confuse people more than it helps them. But to me, it's perfectly step by step. I've watched too many step by step videos and have them not be step by step that I like question my step by step. But maybe I'll put it out and see what happens. There's a way to get back. Yes, there is. Good karma, but it is not fun. Auction Professor has it. You know, we don't talk about the Auction Professor too much. He's a wave 1er, possibly a wave 1.5er. He was the first person that I ever saw on YouTube that seemed like he was out there to help primarily. Most certainly, you know, he's got his Patreon and stuff, and he doesn't even show up anymore because after the troubles and after all we knew YouTubers came online, I think he was like, I'm going to put all my stuff behind a paywall and not put anything out there because it just became too much of a, he moved to, but his stuff is really good. And he really, I don't know. I thought he was a good professor. Okay. We are going Disgruntled Octopus. Disgruntled Octopus has graced us with his tentacles just in time for us to bid you a goodbye. And we will see you tomorrow, I believe at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to give Josh Gall one more week to sort of come in. I don't want to take away his spot, but 1 o'clock, I prefer 1 o'clock. So if he's not going to be here, I'm just going to smooth in. Otherwise, it's 2:30 to 4, or 1 to 2:30 is ideal. So we will be in tomorrow. I believe Hayfro is going to be in with me tomorrow. And yeah, he is repetitive because I think he just sort of said the same thing over and over. But he is somebody that I trust his information, is what I'm saying. And so, okay, so anyway, gotta go. Thank you all for joining us. everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you here again tomorrow. That'd be awesome. With Hey Froze and Spam Banshee will sit up here in the front and answer questions directly. Okay? Love you guys. Adios. Have a great day. Good luck.